Okay, welcome. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Walter O'Neill and I own AntiquesArena.com. I'm a UK reseller. I buy and sell antiques, collectibles, and the weird and wonderful in the hope to flip them for a profit. And the purpose of today's video is to share with you some of my finds, let you know what I've paid for them and what I'm asking. And I do have some absolutely amazing little treasures. So we'll get started today and see what you think. I got one or two real nice little gems, to be honest with you, in today's video. So I'm going to start off with this. I purchased this and the dealer was asking £15. And this is a World War II Home Guard fire stirrup water pump. Now, these water pumps were issued to the Home Guard during the Second World War for putting out small artillery fires and things like that. Now, it's a beautiful thing. It is dated. It's made of brass, steel, and it's still got the original rubber shaft or over the brass. It's George V cipher on it there. There it is on the nozzle there. And it's also dated 1941. And this thing, I'm not kidding you, is mint. I don't think it's ever been used. You can see the rubber there, the black rubber. It is as mint today as the day was put on. Now, I didn't know what it was when I bought it. I just knew it was a water pump. It was interesting. But I've come home and I've done some research on there. And yeah, so it was, as I say, World War II. And they were used by the Home Guard. Some of them were color-coded, some are not. It doesn't bear a military mark on there, but that's what they're all selling them as. They're used by the Home Guard, things like that. So they sort of fire service, Home Guard, whatever you want, but World War II period. Anyway, I paid £15 for it. I've looked online. In poor condition, they're a tenner. In mint condition, the highest price is 150. The average seems to be between 50 and 75 to 50 to 100. Mine doesn't look like it's used. It is mint. So I've put it up for 95. But it comes with a nice bit of history. This was absolutely gorgeous. Same car boot sale. This is huge. It's 17 inches tall. And it is a real nice piece of art glass. Let me shut these windows. It's a nice day, sorry. So everybody's out with the chainsaws and the trimmers and everything else. So, yes. Now, I bought it. I wasn't 100%. Was it Murano? Was it Chinese? Was it Czech? It's a beautiful thing. It really is. This top here is folded over and crimped. Now, Murano do a very similar vase to this. Very, very similar, but it's not the same. I did ask for a bit of advice on there, and they think it's only an attribution because nobody has come up with who've made them yet. They think they're 70s, 80s, and possibly Chinese, but they don't know. But real nice piece. It only cost me £3, and it is such a big, beautiful vase. Nice bit of art glass there in mint condition for £3. Get rid of that. I also bought this off the same dealer that I bought the water pump, and I've done a bit of research on this. It's absolutely stunning. It's iridescent blue. It looks like, if you've ever seen an oil leak from a car and it gets wet and it gives you that rainbow effect, that's what it looks like on the surface of this vase. And I believe it is by Robert, I can't even pronounce the surname, Eichholt, something like that. It's a 5-inch vase in good condition. It is signed on the base. It's absolutely stunning. Now, I paid a tenner for it. It isn't a lot for a bit of art glass like this. There's the signature. Very hard to read. I did ask for some advice and some help. There are a few Facebook groups I use. And that's what I've done with this one. I asked for a bit of help. You can't know everything. I just buy with my gut and hope that is a bit of fun. Well, this is a bit of fun. This is a carved alabaster dinosaur. 5 and 3/4 inches long, 2.5 inches tall. and it's just a bit of fun. It's probably a tourist piece. I really don't care. I just like the novelty fact that it was a dinosaur. It came in, I think it was 50p or a pound. And it's going on for 10 or 15 pounds. It's not a lot of money, but it's just a bit of fun. Got a few photos of it. It's a bit of fun. I love the fact it was a carved dinosaur. I wouldn't want to carve that for a tenner, to be honest with you. I had a selection of very large, very heavy dogs. Well, animals, it would be a better thing. I think this is an Afghan Hound. I'm not 100%, but I think it is. Now, this dog alone is 8.5 inches long, 7 inches tall, and almost 3 kilos in weight. So it's not hollow. It is solid brass all the way through. Absolutely beautiful quality, real heavy. You don't find them like this anymore. You can see the cast line where it was cast in the mold. But they've just poured molten brass into the mold and then cracked the mold open. But honestly, it is solid, really heavy, nicely cast. Anyway, that cost me £3. And I'm not kidding you, 3 kilos of brass. I was talking to Dylan this week and he said he gets about £4.50 a kilo. So work that out. It's about £14 just in scrap value. Then I had this one, which is a little piggy. Now, this one's a little lighter, 2.2 kilos, 8.25 inches long and 4 inches tall. But who doesn't love a pig? I don't know, I like pigs. I got a soft spot for pigs. Every time I go to Folly Farm or places like that, to these petting zoos, I'm always there looking at the pigs and the babies, thinking how cute they are. So, yeah, beautiful thing. Again, you can see a solid cast. You can see the line coming down there. That's the casting line where it was in the mold. So they've just poured molten brass in. This was back when brass was cheap and they didn't care about brass. But these, as I say, it's a tenner of scrap again, and it cost me £3. And my final one is the lightest one. It's only 1.5 kilos, 7.25 inches tall, but it's gorgeous, beautifully cast. And we have a Terrier. Yeah, look at the fur on that, absolutely gorgeous. And again, cost me £3. Well, I paid a tenner for the three of them, but I didn't want to go 33 pence. It was a tenner for the three of them, so just over £3.33 each. But there's about 30 quid's worth of scrap there, 25 to 30 pounds worth of scrap. But I've put them all out at £30 a piece. I think that's fabulous. And if you're a dog lover or pig lover, you know, you're not going to find this type of brass anymore. It gets melted down. This come off trade again, and we have, believe it or not, it's Penrhyn Lodge of the NUM. The NUM is National Union of Mine Workers. So it's a Thomas and Williams miner's lamp. So it's from Aberdeen. It's a Welsh miner's lamp, and I live in Penrhyn, South Wales, and I had to go and buy this off a house clearance who doesn't live in Penrhyn. Was from the Swansea area, but I think he's moved up this area now. But beautiful thing, dated 1982, presented to T. Maguire on their retirement, and we have a lovely Thomson Williams miner's lamp with connection to the National Union of Mine Workers. There's the plaque. But for it to come home to Penrhyn is just fabulous. But you know, I love miners' lamps, always buy them. There is Thomson Williams, Cambrian, Aberdeen. Okay, moving on. This was a bit of fun. I haven't bought one of these in years. It came in cheap. It cost me £5. It is Royal Doulton Bone China Owl decanter. So these are decanters. I believe they were decanters anyway. Whiskey decanters. It's a good size, 6.5 inches tall. Lovely details on the owl. So it cost me £5. I need to turn that around. 1984 is the date there. I'll have to turn it around though. Produced by Royal Doulton. So yeah, it's cheap, but it's collectible. People do like the owls and they do like them decanters, so it was all right. This was an amazing find. I picked these up this weekend. Honestly, right, they are 11 inches tall. They are huge. solid brass base, solid brass sconces, beautiful crystal shafts, and they buy Waterford crystal. The pattern, I believe, is Canterbury, and they are absolutely fabulous. Now, they cost me a £5, and they are selling, they're ranging from 150 online to £350. Now, the only thing I haven't done is I didn't want to clean them. There you go, Waterford crystal on the base. I didn't want to clean them, so I've left all that there because I didn't want to strip the patina and the lacquer off that brass. Oh, look at that. You can see a Waterford signature across there too. I didn't even see that. Look at that. Waterford. Cool. I didn't realise they'd signed the glass as well. That is nothing more than pure luck. I didn't even realise that when I took the photograph. But yeah, I've done the photograph to show them. I didn't want to clean them because some people like them original with the way and the aging. You can't fake or replace that patina. It has to come with time. So I didn't want to clean them. But I've gone down the middle. As I say, you can get them for 360, 350, 200, 150 is the cheapest I found anyway. But there's none available around this price anymore. So I'm pretty much the cheapest out there at 175. And they cost me a £5. And honestly, I can't explain to you just the quality of them. They're just gorgeous. These were gorgeous as well. Now, I bought 2 pairs of candlesticks off trade. I bought them. I saw them on Facebook. I said, yes, please, I'll have them. Now, when I saw these, I thought they were 18th century Georgian. They're not. These are 20th century and probably mid to the last half of the 20th century in a Georgian style, but still a real top quality candlestick. Beautiful shape, beautiful pattern, stunning color. Even the color was right for George and George III. But they're not. They are later. But they're beautiful pair candlesticks. Now, I paid, I don't know exactly how much because I had a massive job lot for over £100 off him. But I think it was £25 a pair of sticks, somewhere around there, £25 a pair. So these owe me about £25, but they're gorgeous. And I still put them up for £95 because I still believe the quality, even though they're not Georgian, I still think the quality's there for someone to buy them. They're 9 1/4 inches tall, but I have said the 20th century in the Georgian style. Did I share the photos? Let me just scan through them for you to have a look. I do take a nice photograph as well. There you go. But yeah, they are 20th century. However, no, I didn't have the other pair on you. So I'll show you the other pair in another video. This came in for nothing. And I mean nothing. It's cost me a £5. Now, this is a puzzle piece. Now, I bought this, and the first thing I thought was Dr. Christopher Dresser, Linthorpe, or along them lines. I thought, wow, yes, please, fabulous. And I've actually, you can see I've put a question mark on the title, and there's a reason behind that. Now, I've done a lot of research, and when my research led me to think it was George Jones, so I put it on a Facebook group to ask for help. The 2 or 3 comments I had on the Facebook group weren't positive. They were, no, it's something else, but they couldn't tell me what. Now, one person did suggest Fulper. Now, this is the Fulper examples. Very similar in style, but if you look at the base on this one, and I'll show you the base on mine, they're totally different materials, they finish different, everything. This is the base on mine. Let's go to the base. There's the base of mine. You can see totally different. Mine, I think, is English, no problem at all. And this is the Fulper. I can't do them side by side, unfortunately. Now, do you see this little patch here? That is called a thumbprint or an unglazed area, where when they've glazed it, they've wiped the glaze back off. They've then wrote the pattern number in there, which is number 67. There's also an impressed number here, which could be the shape number. But up here, it looks to be like a GJ. There, that looks to be like a GJ. Now, you've got that, and you've also got this patch here with the unglazed, with the writing on. Then I started searching, and I found this. This is a website. Majolica Pottery Marks, what is it called? I can't even read it. It's a blog. I'll put the link of the blog in the description for anybody who wants to go and read the blog. It's basically Victorian Majolica pottery. And I'll put the link in the description because I can't read it. Anyway, it talks all about George Jones, Majolica, mint, and all the rest of it. I'm not going to read it all. But then you come down here, and you can see here, see this little patch, this thumbprint. Where is it? I come down low, right. It talks here, right? George Jones, he died in 1893 at the age of 70. Pottery continued operation until 1951. Right. Now, if all pieces had the GJ marks, or if these GJ marks were universally impressed into George Jones Majolica the way mint and marks were universally applied to their pottery, it would be easy for just about anyone to identify. Unfortunately, Jones was not terribly interested in taking credit for all their products, so the marks are usually missing from the underside of the pottery. In fact, it's probably safe to say that less than half the company's Majolica output is actually marked. Now, I have got a GJ on mine, but I haven't got the crescent mark and all that. Then it goes, this is where the confusion begins to identify Majolica. This is where we need to rely on other characteristics and marks to identify them. And it says, one thing that remained consistent about the company was the application of their pattern number on the underside of the Majolica shapes, as mentioned earlier. And if you come down here, you can see there is that unglazed patch with the black writing of the pattern number. And it comes down here. The presence of such a mark is often the only way you can identify those wares, as virtually all Jones pieces bear such a mark. So basically all George Jones items bear this unglazed patch with the pattern number. That's what they're telling you. And if I go back to my vase, there it is there. So I've put it down as a George Jones question mark. I've linked into the description that site for people to read and make their own mind up. Whichever way you looked at it, it is a beautiful, original period piece of early Majolica. Lovely shape, lovely finish, lovely glaze. I think it's George Jones. Now, as I said, a couple of people said that Fulpa. One said Austrian or Belgium. I've already checked all those. Nobody marks the pottery with this piece here. The only people I can find marking with that thumbprint of unglazed and the pattern number is George Jones. That's why I've stuck with George Jones and stuck with my instinct and said, well, they can make their own mind up. Everything I think about the vases here is a big, long description. Now, if I could 100% attribute it to George Jones, it'd be a lot more money. I've put that on there as a question mark, is it? Mainly, the reason behind it is George Jones done a lot with, when you see, if I call it up actually, George Jones Majolica, and go to images, you'll see they've done a lot with plants like leaves and fish and insects and animals. It's not often you see plain pieces, but he did do plain pieces, because I've had tortoiseshell plates and things with just where they've played with the glaze. Is that one plain? No. So you can see that's the reason behind people saying they don't think it's George Jones, is because it's very plain. But this one looks like it's got nothing on there. So look, has it got anything on that? Oh, it hasn't got dogs. I know they did do plain, I know that, and you can see the glaze there, very similar glaze on the inside there. But that's why they're coming up and saying, well, it doesn't look like a George Jones piece, but that's the only company I can find with that mark. I'm not 100% myself. Here we go. There's a piece there just with the glaze and the patterns. It's probably a base of something. They put it down as a dish. But there are pieces there. Look, there's a plate. They didn't always have stuff applied to them. Sometimes they just played with the glaze and shape. So I don't know. But it cost me $5. It's an interesting thing. It's a beautiful original antique Majolica piece. And it'll sit there or it'll sell. You never know. I could be right. I think I'm right. The downside with using Facebook groups is you don't know the knowledge of the people who are commenting. They could be strong in some areas, but not in others. But that article, that's the only company I can find that do that thumbprint with the writing. And nobody suggested an alternative. So anyway, I am literally behind. And I mean, probably 100, 150 items behind on my filming. I'm a long way from catching up, and the weekend's coming again, and the boots are huge. Madly car boots. So this week was 3 fields for selling. It was that big. I didn't go there myself. I was in Guthrie, but yeah, fabulous. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. If there's anything you like and you just want to have a browse at some of the things I buy, go to AntiquesArena.com. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the things I find. Yeah, I get some real rare pieces and some historical pieces and all. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon at the next film. Bye for now.